Hello my friends, this is Qing Hong. Welcome to my studio in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Summer is in full steam right now, so it's timely to learn how to paint the summer flowers. And today I actually have two exercises for us in this lesson. And the first one is going to help us loosen up and really enjoy watercolor. And for the second one, we are going to slow down and just take our time to focus and learn how to paint flowers and a butterfly. Let's get started. Right, let's give this a try. And the paper I'm using is Saunders Waterford, but it's not a 140 pound, but it's a 90 pound paper, and this is thinner. And because that is a little cheaper than the 140 pounds, so it's a great paper to use for practice or doing small sketches. So I really recommend this paper if you want to try out a cotton paper without breaking the bank. And here, this is a reference photo we're going to work with today. And I'm just looking at this picture and I'm noticing the colors, and that will affect my color choices. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of hot pink, and also I'm seeing a red. It's pretty red, and some cooler pink. So let's see what else. Yeah, maybe even a little bit of orange as it's going down here. So it's not just a hot pink, but there's variations. And certainly in the center of the flowers, we have different colors. And these greens are a little bit warm kind of green. And then underneath, behind the flowers, is more cold. So yeah, that gives us good information, and we can get started and to try out the colors. So to do this creative wash, we're going to just be creative and have fun with it. And don't worry about getting it right, but let's just see how we can enjoy watercolor. So here is probably like so, the whole flower. I'm putting a little bit of a dot here. Down here, here. And I know this pigment is really concentrated, so I don't have to have a lot on my paper. So just a little dot and get it started. And let's see. Okay, now I'm using a clear brush. And I'm going to start to move the pigment around, sort of in the shape of this hollyhock. Just really freely let it flow. And you don't have to really worry about if it's looking like a hollyhock or not at this point. But just look at my reference photo and roughly give that shape. So I'm trying to leave out a little bit of the white in the center, so it's not all covered, because there is the center that is white or a little bit of light yellow. Here is just more like that. And let's give it more water. And this flower is coming this way. Right. And there's some little flower here. And maybe even down there. Okay, now that's a fun part. Let's throw some water and let it connect. That's the game of watercolor. You create so much connection when you have connection, then there is a flow. Okay. All right. Softening some edges. Maybe a little more here. And remember, I saw the red color, so we can drop that in. Here and there. It doesn't have to go to every flower. And then I see or I feel some cool tones, especially in the back. Like for this one, I can start to drop in some of that. Okay. And then I see some of that deep purple. I'm going to start to drop that in now. So I'm not just trying to mimic my reference photo, but I'm starting to react to what's happened on the paper. I'm starting to noticing all that. Okay, now let's get some of that stem in. So I'm using a bit of a sap green, and let's see. And it has all this little bud still on it, so just get them in loosely. And I'm adding a little bit of Cascade green, which is a cooler color, so give that color some variation. The green is never a pure singular green. Okay, so see that give it more depth already. And we can come in here, start to add all that. Okay. And also now I want to just soften. Let that flow a little bit more. Okay. And now I'm changing to a large brush to get some of that foliage in here. And this is a mixture of sap green and some green apatite genuine. I'm going to loosely put in some of that green color. And a little bit cold Cascade green when it comes closer to the flower, so it brings it out better. And there is some really pretty foliage here. Maybe over there. Okay. So, all right. Now, oops, I think I need to zoom out a little bit. This looks pretty fun. And in the background, there's some pink, little pink flowers, so we'll just drop that in here, like so. Okay, a little bit of, oops, red. and some just dotting here. I feel like to give it more of that energy coming out of the paper, growing out of paper, we can add some of that. Maybe a little bit of flower here to give it a little bit balance, but not overbalance. All right, I think this is really fun first wash, and soften some edges. Here, maybe soften some of that. Okay, so here is this painting, and I hope this is an exercise that help you feel more free and feel excited about painting watercolor. So it's not a chore, not a challenge, but something you really enjoy and look forward to just creating and have fun. Okay, so well, and for me, I can either come back to add more details to bring it more into focus, or I could just leave it as a fun playing piece, and that's good enough. Next, we are going to paint this butterfly and these pretty yellow flowers.